This is the Padres POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the San Diego Padres. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Padres fan? Welcome to your Padres POSTCAST. Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day, and today's not a good day. 10-4, the Padres lose to the A's in the bandbox in the minor league field, in the field that no major league team should ever play on, the field on which the A's picked up their first win tonight on that field against the Padres. And Field of Dreams turns into a field of nightmares as Fernando Tatis Jr., Jake Cronenworth leave the game with apparent injuries from swings. And yeah, no, not good. And, Jackson Merrill already put on the 10-day injured list earlier in the day, and it just was a bad night all the way around for the Padres after the top half of the first inning. This is your Padres POSTCAST. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, all kinds of stuff to get to tonight. But, man, first things first, I want to thank you for making us your first watch/listen of the day. We're free wherever you get your podcasts, and we are free on YouTube as well as on Roku. And I will tell you what, man, it is really good to be here night in and night out. It's been great so far this season, just not tonight. And tonight's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, hey, it's your tomorrow. New customers can get $250 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins on FanDuel on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. And what a crappy night for the Padres. Dylan ceased to remember how to pitch tonight. I mean, career worst 9 earned runs for Dylan Cease. Gio Urshela and J.J. Bleday had 3 RBI each. 6-run first inning for the A's after the Padres had scored 3 in the top of the first, and that was at Sutter Health Park home in Sacktown. Roll now. Cease is 1-1, wasted a 3-0 lead. And, look, 6 runs with 2 outs in the first, 9 runs, 9 hits, 3 walks in 4 innings. His ERA is up to almost 7.98. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, the A's got him when he was with the White Sox in 2023 for 8 earned runs, so maybe he shouldn't pitch against Oakland anymore. The hamstring strain for Merrill, Tatis, Cronenworth, they hurt themselves on swings, leaving the batter's box. And, man, Tatis had left shoulder discomfort from a slide. Cronenworth had cramps from an earlier rib injury, is what Mike Schilt told reporters. Hopefully those guys are all right. Man, it's crazy. But 3 seasons in the home of the AAA Sacramento. How does Major League Baseball allow this? Someone please, how in the world do I sign up? I'm just going to go on a rant here. How do I sign up for the Major League Baseball website to watch every game? They charge me extra to buy MLB Network games, and I couldn't even watch the Padres the other day, and they forced these teams to play in a minor league. It's just ridiculous, man. It is absolutely ridiculous. But Manny Machado hit his first homer of the season off of Jeffrey Springs, and Yuli Gurriel hit an RBI double after starting 0 for 13 against left-handers. But Bleday's 2-run double in the bottom half of the first. Miguel Andujar's single. Ursela hit a 2-run double and scored on Max Muncy's signal. It was just one of those nights. It looked like a softball game. The number 5 through 9 hitters in the A's lineup. I'm going to go 5 through 8. 11 for 19 with 8 RBI and 8 runs because the 9-hitter did nothing. But, the most earned runs in 159 career starts for Dylan Cease, and just a rough night for the Padres in general. All right, let's get it cracking. Padres POSTCAST on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Oakland A's hitters running around the bases like it was a softball game. They should have had cigarettes in their mouths and beers in their hands while they were running around tonight. Look at that. I mean, Dylan Cease, Manny Machado. Just a bad meeting at the mound. It started off pretty well for the Pods tonight, but at the end, it was just too much Oakland A's offense. And it's 2 outs, in the bottom of the first inning. You got 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning, and you just don't get through it. And it's a rough go, right? I mean, it really is rough because Machado homers, right? Bogart singles, Gurriel doubles to center, Bogart scored. Gurriel scores on an error, and you're like, damn, it's 3-0 Padres, right? Here we go, top of the first, let's go, let's put it on them. And then Dylan Cease comes out, first out of the inning, strikes out. You know what I mean? It's you get a single, you get a line out, you get a walk, and then you get a fly out. So it's first and second with 2 outs, right? Oh, no, Butler went to third. So it's first and third with 2 out in the first inning. Bleday doubles, Andujar singles, Wilson singles, Ursela doubles, Muncy singles, and they finally get Butler to strike out. But the damage is done. She said, yeah, but the damage is done. 6-3 by that point in time. And then, look, it just didn't get any better from there. Springs calmed down for the A's and pitched a lot better. You know what I mean? And the Padres, Bogarts with a sac fly in the second inning. You know what I mean? And that scores Maldonado. But it's 6-4. And you're like, all right, 6-4. We'll keep chipping away. But then a funny thing happens. And the pitching kind of gets better for the A's. And not kind of. They shut out the Padres from there. And meanwhile, Oakland they weren't having any of that. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden, in the bottom of the third for Oakland, they score 3 more, and it's 9-4. You know what I mean? Wilson singles into left. It's a couple of run score there. It's an error. You know what I mean? So one scores legitimately. The other one scores on an error by Gonzalez out in left field. And you know what I mean? It just Urshela doubles and Wilson scores, and then it's 9-4. And they added that 10th run a little bit later in the game. And, of course, it was Bleday with the homer. So 10 runs for the A's, and, just a bad night for the Padres pitching staff in general. But again, it's Dylan Cease, man. 8 earned runs for him, 4-11-1 for the Pods, 10-13-1 for the A's. So 24 hits in this game, 14 runs. Get the beers in their hands and the cigs in their mouths, man. This is not Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred. All the Major League offices, come on, 3 years of this. Are you serious? You couldn't find a better place for the A's to play than this? You could not find a better place for the A's to play. I mean, this is a joke. There's no clubhouse behind the dugout. It's a joke. It's a single A stadium. What is it, a single A? Maybe a double A stadium at best? I don't know. I don't understand, but it is what it is, and there's not much you can do. All right, Padres Postcast and the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Couple of things left to do before we get on out of here. We'll break down the box score a little bit. We'll look at what's coming up ahead. And, look, if Dylan Cease did one thing tonight, and this is one thing I'll give him credit for, and you kind of have to give him credit for this, right? The one thing I'll give him credit for tonight is he managed to go 4 innings, right? And that is a real big deal because he needed to, because this bullpen's been taxed early in the season. It's been a disaster since the first time through the rotation when you think about it, right? They were lucky to win the King game in game 1. Cease kept a minute in game 2. Games 3, 4, and 5, and you look at Vasquez and you look at Pivetta and you look at Hart, they were real good, varying degrees of good in their first starts. Then King in his second start, fantastic. Cease better there, against Cleveland. And then all of a sudden, you get back to that bottom part of the rotation in Wrigley, and they're lucky to win that third game of the series when, look, it was Vasquez and Pivetta got ripped, and then Hart, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, you're thinking King comes back and Cease comes back, but then you get him in the bandbox, the minor league park, and, no matter who you are as a pitcher, you got to be real careful in a stadium like this. It changes the way you pitch. Any ball that gets up in the air could get out of there. These are big league hitters, man. There's a reason they scored 14 runs on 23 hits in this game in this minor league bandbox of a stadium. I mean, it just is absolutely ridiculous. They allow him to move to Vegas, 3 years in this stadium. It just doesn't make any sense. And I know it sounds like sour grapes, but real quick, while you're here, come on in, say what's up in the comments. Give us a sub. We love having you here. And then hit that bell so you get the alerts when we're coming your way with more content. There is no doubt, absolutely no doubt, that this is just one of the Pods would love to shove in the rear view mirror. But hopefully, look, Merrill's going to be out 10 days no matter what with the hamstring. I'm wondering about Cronenworth and Tatis. If Cronenworth is a cramp with a rib injury and Tatis is a shoulder from a slide, who knows? There's at the cramp, maybe that's one thing. The shoulder, good Lord, you should be praying right now for Fernando Tatis Jr. It's Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. 10-4, the final A's beat the Pods in Sacramento. The Padres fall to 9-3. We'll give you an update on the standings and a look ahead as well. But more important than that, you're just looking at the injuries right now. You're already off to a great start. You don't want to get too carried away with a couple of L's, but hey, man, this was a tough one. Tonight, you put it in the rear view and you move on. Well, you can't really move on. You got to play the last game here tomorrow. All right, let's take a break, give you some incredible offers from our awesome sponsors. They love hooking you guys up. We'll do that real quick, and we'll come back and wrap it up. Padres Postcast and the Locked On Podcast Network, 10-4 your team every day. Yeah, buddy. I'll tell you this, though. There is no partner of ours that I love as much as FanDuel. I may love them equally, like my kids. I tell them individually when they're around me by themselves, hey, you're my favorite. Don't tell anybody. But you know what? It's hard to pick a favorite with the sponsors, just like it is with my kids. But the NBA playoffs are almost here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking my favorite team, diving into player props, right? 3-pointers to steals to assists. FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today with FanDuel on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And tonight's episode is brought to you also by Just Ingredients. When it comes to fueling your body, quality matters. That's why Just Ingredients is changing the game with clean, high-quality products designed to support better health and peak performance. Just Ingredients offers an NSF-certified line of protein powder, electrolytes, pre-workout, and creatine, all rigorously tested to ensure they're free from substances banned by major athletic organizations. Just Ingredients has also partnered with two-time MVP Bryce Harper, who trusts their NSF-certified sports line to fuel his training and recovery. You know what I'm saying? So it really is dope to have clean and transparent ingredients. You can't trust anybody these days, but you can trust Just Ingredients. Why? Because they prioritize wholesome, nourishing ingredients without the artificial junk. They fuel your performance, recovering from a workout. You need an energy boost. No problemo. Their grass-fed whey protein and pre-workout deliver real results. And with Just Ingredients, you can visit justingredients.us and use code LOCKEDONMLB for 20% off. How about that? For more wellness tips, follow just.ingredients on Instagram. That's Just Ingredients on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And I am, of course, Jim Greasehaber. You can call me Grease. And I'm very happy to have you with me tonight. As always, free on Roku, free on YouTube, and free wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, wherever on God's green earth you get the audio version with these two ears. Yeah, baby. You will get us right here. Thanks again for making us your first watch/listen every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And the Pods with a big win to start the season, and a big streak to start the season, I should say. And they lost a couple in a row. They got back in the win column last night, but then today they score 3 runs in the first inning to take a lead. Machado hits his first bomb of the season, but the Oakland Athletics, could I call them the Oakland A's? Are they the Sacramento A's? Are they the Vegas A's? Are they the homeless A's? How about they just call them the homeless A's? That would be great. I mean, this organization, this franchise with so much incredible history, from Reggie Jackson and Vita Blue and Raleigh Fingers and those teams in the early 70s that were winning, to Ricky Henderson setting the stolen base record, Billy Martin managing them, you know what I mean? Mike Norris on the bump. Then you go all the way through the Bash Brothers. And I remember as a kid going to Fenway Park and Yankee Stadium and specifically going to see those A's and watching McGuire and Canseco and all those guys just smash batting practice. This is a proud and great, Giambi Tejada. I coached Miguel Tejada Jr. Shout out Miguel Tejada. The A's are an incredible organization with a ton of history. Charlie Finley and the orange baseballs and everything. And oh my God, Finley would love this crap. Finley would love this, would he not? Charlie Finley. I mean, Lord, Raleigh Fingers and Vita Blue and those guys, Joe Rudy, they wouldn't want to play at this park any more than the Padres are loving it right now. But I'll tell you what, one guy who's not minding anything is Luis Arraez, 3 for 5 tonight. He's at 313 after the 0 for 13 start to the season. Manny Machado's at 319. Fernando Tatis Jr. is at 364. 333 for Gavin Sheets, 353 for Martin Maldonado. Shout out to Martin Maldonado, went 3 for 4 tonight for the Pods. And so good job by Maldonado, but just a terrible, terrible effort from Dylan Cease tonight, who just did not get the job done. And this is a key turning point in the game. We got to get out of here in a minute. But first things first, let me get to a couple of things, benchmarks on the show before we wrap it up and get you ready for tomorrow. First things first, where did it all go wrong?
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
The turning point was the bottom of the first inning, very clearly in this game, because the Athletics, you know what I'm saying? The Athletics scored a ton of runs in the bottom of the first. I mean, the Padres took a 3-0 lead in the top, and it was really 2 outs and a 6-run rally with 2 outs in the bottom of the first for the A's is what won this game for them. And you just saw them circling the bases like crazy people, running things out and just smashing the ball all over the field tonight. And you just see the games that they had. And you look at the 5, 6, 7, 8 guys in their lineup. I'm just going to go ahead and hit you with this real quick. And this is really, what is it's tough. I mean, 5-hitter, 6-hitter, maybe, but down in the lineup to crush you like this. And they threw in Max Muncy, who was 1 for 4, and that's just dumb. I don't know why they would do that in the recap on ESPN. But, I mean, when a guy's 1 for 4, you can't include him in an 11 for 19 because he's 4 of the outs and 1 of the hits. Come on, man. They're 10 for 15 without him, if they even did their math right, which it was lazy reporting. So I'm not sure why we would expect that they would have. So, yeah, 4 for 7, 10 for 14, 13 for 17 is what I have here. Hold on 1 second. 3, 7, 11, 15. Yeah, 15, and we have 3, 5, 7, 8. So 8 for 15 for 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the order with 7 RBIs. I mean, 8 for 15 with 7 RBIs, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the order for the A's. That's Bleday, Andujar, Wilson, and Ursela. And, look, Butler was 1 for 5 at the top, but Rooker had an offer. Soderstrom was 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored after 2 homers last night. 0 for 4 for Langeliers. No, it was Bleday, it was Andujar, it was Wilson, and it was Ursela. And Muncy, he had an RBI hit. But then, really, you got to give credit to Springs. And the bullpen was great for the A's, by the way. Leclerc and Sterner and Ferguson, they went 3 innings combined, shutout. Now, they give 4 hits. The Padres had things going. But it was really Springs. He had a tough start and ends up going 6 innings. Allowed 4 runs, 3 earned in the first 2 innings. And then from there, he goes and shuts down the Padres. Struck out 4, gave up the homer to Machado through 103 pitches. So there you have it. That was the turning point. Bottom of the first, all those runs with 2 away. And so how about our next one right here?
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Pick an A's player because I don't know if we can. I said 5, 6, 7, 8 were the guys in the lineup. And for the Padres, I would say, look, it's a tough call right now with the Padres to pick a player of the game. But I'm going to go ahead and I don't have a picture of Luis Arraez, so I think that's going to go ahead and be my reason right now to pick. Where is he? I am having trouble with my vision right now. It's not Dylan Cease. That's for sure. Where are we at? There we go. Right here. Right here. Right now. Right here. Right now. It's Manny Machado. First home run of the season. Stellar D at third. As usual with Manny and Luis Arraez, 3 more hits. And Maldonado, 3 hits. But really, when you look at it, it was the night where Dylan ceased to be in control and have command. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Padres POSTCAST and the Locked On Podcast Network. Free every day. Roku, wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and of course on YouTube. And we will be here after every game, including tomorrow's game. And just make sure, real quick, one time for your mind, tomorrow's game will be earlier, 12:35, getaway day for the Pods. So 12:35 tomorrow on a Wednesday. And that one's going to be, oh boy, Vasquez back on the mound with Osvaldo Bido on the mound for the A's. And this one's going to be a rough one. The total on this one is 9.5. The Padres a -130 favorite. The A's coming in at, wait a minute, -115. The Padres opened at -130. They're -105, and the A's -115. So the A's the favorite. Tomorrow we'll be here right after the game with your postcast. Hey, you're 9-3, right? I mean, this isn't the end of the world. This is not the end of the world, and you are not. Look, the Dodgers lost. They're 9-4. The Giants lost. They're 8-3. So hey, you're gonna lose. You might as well hope you're your teams that you're ahead of in the division. So you lose the game, you don't lose first place. More of a concern is Tatis, Cronenworth, the injuries, Merrill on the injured list. And so that is, your concern right now is the overall health of this team. That's all there is, Pods fans. There is no more. Your Padres Postcast and Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, 10-4. They lose in Sacramento to the Oakland A's. Don't ask. But they get right back at it tomorrow, 12:35. We're here with the Postcast right after, still in first place, San Diego. See what Vasquez can do tomorrow before you go ahead and get on out of there and then move on to the next one, right? Because after that game, you know what I'm saying? You got the Rockies at home and then the Cubs coming right back at home before you go to Houston and Detroit. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to FanDuel and every one of our sponsors. Thank you to David Locke and everyone at the network. And, man, thank you for being the best part of what we do, being our fans. Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And before we finish up, I want to make you aware that your second listen should be the new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Keep your game tight and your mind right, San Diego. We are